Howdy guys, Cal Kellogg here. I changed things up today. Rather than going down into the valley, I headed up into the Sierras. I'm fishing one of my favorite Sierra lakes. I haven't been here in a couple years. Here's the situation. This lake has recently been planted with rainbows. It was planted with rainbows back in June. I think a lot of those June planters are still in the lake. They're holdovers now. This lake is full of pond smelt. It's really cold. It is frigid. Water temperature 45.5 degrees, so I'm expecting the fish to be a little bit lethargic, but I think I can catch them. Water quality is very good, and we are between storms. We just came out of some storms. Well, we came through a period of really cold weather, then we went through some storms. Today is going to be a good, calm day. Tomorrow, another storm is moving in, and we are going to have rainy weather for the next 5 or 6 days. So that's why I opted to get out today. Conditions are pretty darn good considering it is late January here in the Sierras. I've already had one bite, tentative bite, as I would expect because the water is really, really cold. But we are just going to kind of work around this area because it's so cold. I'm not starting out really fast. I'm starting out at about 1.8 to 2.2, kind of in the high end of the slow range to the low end of the medium speed range. On this rod right here, my hybrid lead core rod, I have an orange and chrome Trigger Spoon Junior working down about 5 feet deep on one color of lead core. That's the one that got hit a minute ago. And over here, I have a top line working back 65 feet, no weight, no flashers, no nothing, just a straight top line with a gold pinhead on it. So I'm showing them the gold, I'm showing them the bright orange and chrome. They've already showed me that they like the bright orange and chrome because I did get that one hit on it in like the first 2 minutes. So we will continue trolling here and see if we can be yelling fish on real soon. I'm going to work the main body of this lake. I may go back in that cove where I got hit, but I'm just gonna prospect here for the first hour, first 90 minutes or so, try to find a concentration of fish and then work that area more thoroughly. Fish on. Junior disco minnow, guys, in the watermelon color. Awesome. Let's see here. I was right under the surface. I trolled that pinhead for a while. Wasn't getting much action on it. I put on that watermelon disco junior, and that was probably, I don't know, 6-7 minutes ago. Had it back about 55 feet, and fish on, baby. Very nice. See if we can get them in the net here. We'll see. Oh, wow, they're feisty right now. Oh, beautiful little rainbow. Nice little pan-sized fish. Let's see. Let's see if we can get him over here. Oh yeah, what a nice little fish. Oops, there we go. Beautiful little trout. Nice square tail. Get him revived and get him back in the lake. Okay guys, quick update here. Got all tangled up, got some more coffee, just getting the gear back in the water now. I had changed from that orange Trigger Junior after I had 6 straight bites on it without a real hookup to that micro trigger in the same color, thinking that that smaller package would produce better results. Well, it didn't produce any bites at all. So I stopped on the other side over here to change back to the original orange and chrome Trigger Junior. Got that on, it's running at 5 feet. And I also took the gold pinhead off the surface rod. That had not gotten touched. I put on that watermelon colored disco junior on this rod, put it out there, and in less than 10 minutes I had it back at 55 feet. Like I say, in less than 10 minutes, I hooked that fish, and I think that was a holdover just based on how good the tail looked. It had perfect scales, and it really took that spoon deep, which tells me it was convinced. The main forage in this lake is pond smell. That fish was convinced that that was a bait fish. So that fish was probably planted back in June, took that spoon real deep. He was bleeding a little bit, cool water, revived him in the net, and he took off. He looked fine. Hopefully he's going to make it. Not looking to keep any fish today. But that's kind of the story now. One fish doesn't make a pattern, but if I pick up another fish on that watermelon disco, I'll put 2 of those on. But until then, I'm going to keep kind of covering water out here. I know there's several fish back there because that's where I got the 6 hits this morning and caught that fish. But I am going to go up here and check out a bank. I really like to fish up here. Fairly small lake, so we can be back here in about 20 minutes. It's early, we've got all day, so let's put together a pattern and put a bunch of fish in the net. Fish on, Daddy. On the orange Trigger Junior. They've been whacking that thing all day. I could easily have like 10 fish on it, but bites I got on it early were very tentative because the water's so cold. But this one definitely stuck. So there we go. That was 5 feet deep at about 1.8 to 2 miles an hour. Whoa. It's funky now. There he is. Bingo. Handsome little planter rainbow right there. Beautiful little fish. Put him back in there. Off he goes. Fish on the Disco Minnow. Disco Minnow Junior. I was close to the kayak for top line too. That was 51 feet back. So right on the surface. Not very far behind the kayak. But it's a very quiet day out here, and of course kayak's very stealthy craft, so you're not scaring them. I see a nice little rainbow there. That's what I say. Ooh, he's getting all crazy. There we go. Right in the net. Beautiful. Set that right up there. There you go. That was a little planter. He had a little round edge on his tail. So that was definitely a planter. And he jumped all over that Disco Junior, which is now tangled in my net. Disco Junior right there. He wanted to dance, and well, he danced right into the net and right back into the lake, actually. So that was pretty cool. Get this back out there. I came up to an area of the lake I've had a lot of success in the past, and wasn't that impressive up there. There were a few marks, but in the past I found bait stacked along this bank here, and holds a lot of holdover trout at times, but not today. Wasn't seeing that today. So I'm going to head back out into the main body where I was getting the hits this morning and see if we can get back into those fish. The temperature is up 0.3 of a degree, so maybe they're feeling a little bit more active. We shall see. But we'll get back out here in the main body and see what those fish think about my Disco Minnow and that orange and chrome Trigger Junior as well. Well, guys, Lucy and I, we're about to call it a day. We're going to go up here and put the kayak back on the trailer. We're about 20 minutes from the ramp. It was a very productive day here in the Sierras. The water's cold. The spoon bite was actually very good. We could have easily taken home a limit of pan-sized rainbows. We opted to let them all go. Number one offering today, watermelon-colored Disco Minnow Junior Troll, probably 2 feet deep. Just top lining it on the 10-pound test mono. Back 50 feet behind the kayak at about 1.8 to 2.2, so no weights, no flashers, no nothing. So I imagine that's working about 2 feet deep back there. Was running that on an 8-pound test fluorocarbon leader. The second most productive offering was the lead core outfit with that orange and chrome Trigger Spoon Junior on it, also running that on the 8-pound fluoro leader. That was working really well early, but they were so tentative they just weren't getting hit. I had 6 strikes on that before I actually hooked a fish. But it started playing catch up as the temperature rose. The bite got more intense, and I started catching fish on both rods. I was never able to get the bite dialed in enough to pull one of the rods and just concentrate on one rod. I was never really able to cut the lake down to size either. I went and checked out some areas up lake where I often, have some pretty good luck. Didn't find any fish there. Down here in the main body, I was able to eliminate about half the main body, but at the end of the day, I was left with probably an 8-acre area that I just kept circling and occasionally, picking up fish. So, very good action, especially when you consider it is late January. If you want to get out and get your trout on, don't let the cold water discourage you. Dress for the occasion, bring that hot coffee. You're not going to have a lot of competition out on the water, and there are a lot of trout available when the water's cool. Remember, don't fish too deep. They're up near the top if you're going to fish from the bank. Employ that power bait, those inflated worms, but don't cast out too far. You want to keep your bait in relatively shallow water. That's where you're going to find the most active fish. That's where you're going to find the fish that are most willing to feed. And, you don't have to be out at dark 30. You can get out here at 10 o'clock, fish until 2. That's when the action peaks, because that's when the surface temperature, reaches its apex during the day. So, one for the road right there on the orange Trigger Spoon Jr. Just like that. Awesome. It's feisty's turning the kayak a little bit. All right. Bring that guy up here. Always nice when you catch one on the way to the ramp. Or hook one anyway. We haven't caught this one yet. We'll see. Let's see. Oh, he's a feisty little rainbow. That might be the fish of the day right there. Look like he's hooked super good though. Good enough to get in the net. Oh, let's see. Beautiful little rainbow right there. He's got kind of an overbite. Anyway, we'll get him out of here. We got one for the road right there.